To escape the narcissist, you have to see them as evil. But over time, what happens is you have to say, well, why did I want to believe the lie? Why did I believe the lie? Why did I want to believe the fake reality? So you have to see evil in your own heart while you even stepped into something, Because if you'd have took your time, you would have escaped it. But they are such good actors that they know how to act, right? And so you get pulled in because of the mirror. You don't know people that have those intentions, but they can only pull a person in if there's something to grab hold of, right? So the good thing about a narcissist is it's that feedback loop. You got pulled in because you wanted to believe the lie. You wanted to believe the fake reality. You get pulled into a car salesman selling your car because you wanted to believe the fake reality, because they got all those people flying monkeys around them saying, oh yeah, these are great salesmen in here, go ahead and buy the car. The whole time they're lying to you, scamming you. Just like that Elizabeth Holmes. These people invested trillions of dollars, or billions, probably billions, or millions or billions, I'm sure it was billions, to do her test, her blood test, and they believed the lie. And then the Friedman guy, the cryptocurrency guy, he fed people a lie. And it just keeps going. Everybody wanted to believe the lie, The get rich quick scheme, So I was thinking last night, what lies do we believe in our society? From our government, from our city council, our state, our neighborhood, our job, our own abilities, and our own whatever. What lies do we believe about our church? You join the church, they say, hey brother, we love you, come on in, join up. And you're like, what do you mean? I'm already a member of the body of Christ, but you go ahead and join anyway. And then they want to put you to work as soon as you get there. You got to go to work. See what I mean? It's the same thing. They want to pull you in real fast, put you to work, get you caught up in their little system, and you're stuck there for 20 years, and you're tithing for 20 years, and the tithe's not even for the church. The tithe is not even for the church. That's funny. And they'll use all kinds of justification to justify it. Yeah, you should give, don't get me wrong, to some ministry of some kind, whether it's your own or whatever. Give your time and effort to give out the good news somehow, some shape, or some form. A blog, hand out tracts, street ministry, start your ice cream stand and give out tracts while you're selling ice cream. I might call the city and see how much it would cost to set up a street vendor, but I'm not going to do it. I'll just find out about how much it is. I've got too much going on. Think about being a street vendor. You got to go get your snacks and your drinks, set it all up, have ice. That's a lot of work. If you're not going to make enough money, it ain't worth it. Your time. So the feedback loop that the narcissist gives you is to heal you. And in a way, they are doing you a favor. In a way, they are the best thing ever happened to you. In a way, they are the best thing that could have ever happened, because you're breaking your fake reality. They're still living in fake reality. They're given, and when you do the decode, I did the decode, and okay, so when you go into a building and let's say there's an air freshener on the wall, kind of high up, it's usually about, if the wall is 8 foot, the air freshener is probably about 6.5 feet. And so the air freshener has a key. And if you don't have the key, you can't work on that air freshener. You can't open it up. You can't be a manager of the air freshener. And so as the saints, God will use the devil, if he has to scourge every son he receives. And so the devil has some key people who God allows to come into your world, attack you, whatever, to sanctify you and set you apart and make you holy. So a lot of these minions who are witches or warlocks, or they have a key. It's not God's key, it's the devil's key, because the kingdom of darkness. So if you put your hand over in the dark side, you're actually in his kingdom. So he has people, just like God has prophets and priests and kings. The devil has his little false prophets, and he don't give them full knowledge, but he gives them enough to attack you. And what the devil means for evil, God turns for good. So let's say you had a problem with greed, okay? So you're deep in greed. I mean, you're just deep in it. I'll say God is not going to look on sin, right? So that part, you stepped into the dark side, right? And so the feedback loop is, so you stepped into the greed. Now greed is the devil's kingdom, because that's the flesh side of man. It's not the spirit side. The spirit walk is love, joy, peace, goodness, meekness, temperance, faith. But greed is the flesh side. So that king, who's the king of the flesh? King of Tyre, the devil. Ezekiel 24 or 28, somewhere in there. Oh, King of Tyre, you could solve all mysteries, but except for one, and that's Christ at the cross, faith alone. So let's say you have a greed issue, and so God allows the devil, because you've already stepped into his kingdom by being greedy. And so that feedback loop is from the devil and his minions. And some of these false prophets or prophets of the devil have a key into your world, and they'll show up out of nowhere. And they'll try to get into your world and try to attack that spiritual weakness of greed, or that spiritual darkness of greed, and try to pull you into more greed, and where it destroys you, or almost destroys you. God will pull you out, but anything that you do in the dark side, the devil has his little prophets to attack you. Pride, greed, everything. So let's say you're walking around in pride. What's the devil going to do? He's going to send a Jezebel. So if I start to get in pride wars with people, God will allow the devil to send the Jezebel, and the Jezebel knock on my door, and she'll come in like she has all the religious talk. She knows the Bible probably better than most preachers. So she'll knock on your door, and you'll start to talk to her, and you get yoked up with Jezebel because of the pride, and you get into a pride war with her. Let's say you start to tell little white lies or something. I'll say, what's the dark side? The lies, not truth. Let's say you start telling a bunch of little white lies, so-called white lies, So God's going to let a big liar, one of the minions who has a key to the air freshener. So the air freshener is joint heirs. God is refreshing you. He allows that feedback loop from that minion of the devil who has a key into that dark place. And so these minions are actually air fresheners. Even though they're working for the devil, what God allowed is meant for your good. Whatever God allows is meant for your good. So it cuts you. Cuts your pride, cuts your greed, cuts your whatever it is. And so I was trying to decode that one time, but it was really deep, and it finally clicked that the devil has minions who have a key that they can see into the dark realm, the spirit realm, and that's the anti-realm, but they know where to attack you. And that's why it seems like a narcissist can read your mind. They can actually read your mind, but they're not really reading your mind. It's a spiritual archetype of the dark side, and so they know what to say, what to do. They know who to send. They know how to put a coven around you and attack you, right? It's all to make you holy and separate and set you apart. But God's not going to mess with that kingdom. He's the king of righteousness. The devil's the king of the flesh, the world, the flesh, pride. So if you want to step into that kingdom, get ready for a war. And you won't beat the devil, because the devil will lie all the way to hell. And if you try to play a game with the devil, you lose, because you're going down with the devil. He don't care. They'll take it. His minions will take it to the nth degree. You don't want to know how evil they are. You mess with one of his, they'll take it down so far that they don't care if somebody gets killed or something. These people are evil. And so they are, what would you call them? Key masters, or whatever they call them. Gatekeepers. I'm telling you something deep. So when you go into a store, any kind of building that has air fresheners, look up and see if it don't have a key. Because if you don't have the spiritual unction to know how to deal with some people without getting too close to the fire, because, what's it say? Restore such a one with the spirit of meekness, lest you fall in the same condemnation. And so if there's no saint around to rebuke another saint in a graceful way, then the devil has to send his people, and they have a key to see the unseen. Because it's an air freshener. Joint air is being refreshed. You need a jump start. So every object in the 3D experience has a deeper spiritual truth. And so when you step into the kingdom of darkness with some little habit or whatever, the devil can see it. And so he lets his minions see it, and they come and knock on your door, allegorically knock on your door, try to get a foot in the door so that they can exploit that. Hello? Come on now. So you can blame and be mad at them, but as long as you got the hedge up, they can't touch you. Did you let the hedge down? That's the question. You got a hedge around you. That's what the devil told God. He said, Job, he said, have you considered my servant Job? You got a hedge around him. All right, so I'll lower the hedge and see what happens. And he never cursed God. He still believed that God is righteous, Long story short, there's two kingdoms. And the ones who are sold out to whichever kingdom, they get the key to be air fresheners. Whether it's the kingdom of light or the kingdom of darkness. And the ones with the key to the dark side, it's not going to be fun. When you face off with them, it's going to be painful.